Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
North Dakota Secretary of State says he's received complaints of a petition drive using deception to collect signatures. The group behind the petition is pushing back against those claims. They tell Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero their mission is to modernize the state's election system.
If some of you have been in downtown Fargo, you've probably seen a few people trying to collect signatures for a petition. The group, North Dakota Voters First, says its mission is to modernize the election system.
Asking voters if they would agree with us to place this measure on the ballot.
There are 5 different measures the group wants to add to North Dakota's constitution. One is extending the voting window for deployed military members to send in their mail-in ballots from 46 days to 60 days before an election.
It would require paper ballots. We already have that. We already have an audit system in place. It would essentially do away with the primary system by party.
Secretary of State Al Jaeger says he's gotten complaints daily that the group is being dishonest.
They indicate to us that they've been approached by a circulator, and what the circulator indicates is only one part of a very complex petition.
That one thing signers are hearing is a proposal on the military. Jaeger says people have asked him to nullify the signatures, something he does not have the power to do. Another measure is taking away the power of legislators to redraw districts.
You know, all folks need to hear is one thing and they'll sign it. And so that might be what's happening, but I would not say that there's anything deceptive happening at all on our side.
Despite calling themselves North Dakota Voters First, campaign finance data shows all their funds are coming from people in Colorado, Texas, and Massachusetts.
We are working to build our donor base in the state of North Dakota, and we will certainly be doing that once we're qualified to be on the ballot.
Organizers have to collect nearly 30,000 signatures by July 6, which they say they'll reach. In Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
Now, if you've signed that petition and want your signature removed, you can email North Dakota Voters First at info@northdakotovotersfirst.org. The group says it'll remove your name, and it already has gotten some people wanting to do just that. The city of Fargo is taking some precautionary steps in lieu of another march planned for tomorrow in the downtown area. Not only has the mayor signed an emergency declaration, the city will be closing some buildings. Fargo City Hall, the main downtown Fargo Public Library, and Fargo Municipal Court will be closed with employees working remotely. The city says it's ready to protect the safety of our residents, their livelihoods, and city infrastructure. That planned march is for tomorrow at the local organizers of Black Lives Matter and One Fargo. Their march will start at 9 in the morning at Island Park, and then they'll go to City Hall. And there's another march planned for Saturday. I'm liking breezy much more than windy, as there's been a much appreciated change in our weather after last night's storms. Let's find out from Hutch what we should expect this evening. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Mike. We do have a few showers and a couple of rumbles of thunder in our easternmost counties from the Lake of the Woods area through Beltrami County, Hubbard County, and south into eastern Otter Tail County. The strongest storms are working their way into the western suburbs of the Twin Cities right now. For us, we have decreasing clouds west to east, cooler for everyone. The heat and humidity is gone. 70s for many here in the Red River Valley and western Minnesota, and a look at your planner for tonight in Fargo. We'll stay in the 70s for the next hour or two after sunset, dipping into the 60s. Cool, quieting winds as well. Grand Forks, a little cooler still with temperatures in the 60s for most of your evening. Overnight, some patchy fog not out of the question. I'll have hour-by-hour details, Mike, on what we can expect as we glide towards our Father's Day weekend coming up here in just a few minutes.
Keeping an eye on those wind speeds, and I can see single-digit miles per hour. That looks real good.
Yeah, the hair's a lot easier to take care of, too.
It certainly is. Thanks. The National Weather Service says straight-line winds were clocked at 80 miles per hour in Steele County overnight. Major cleanup is underway there today. This is video from Golden Lake, which is near Findlay. That area saw significant damage to homes, boats, and trees. Our reporter that was there this morning saw a roof that had been blown off a home and a large tree on top of another. Steele County Sheriff says at least 9 boats were destroyed in last night's storm. A distracted and reckless driving charge will be filed against the driver who hit a semi-truck head-on yesterday. Authorities say 27-year-old Dane Castrinos was driving south on County Road 11 when he crossed the center line and crashed head-on with the semi. The truck was being driven by 21-year-old Emily Peterson and was leaving the parking lot of Gordy's Travel Plaza. Neither Peterson nor her passenger were hurt in the crash. Castrinos was injured but was expected to be okay. Thief River Falls police are investigating following the shooting of an 8-year-old girl. Investigators say it happened Tuesday around 9 p.m. The victim was flown to a Fargo hospital for treatment. Foul play is not suspected, although authorities are still looking into the cause. No names have been released. A 29-year-old man will spend 19 years in prison for killing his brother last year. Authorities say Nicholas Patrick Hauge pleaded guilty on March 17th to second-degree murder. He was sentenced on June 2nd. Law enforcement say they found Timothy Hauge on the lawn of a home in Foston. They later discovered a landscaping block about 20 yards from his body. An autopsy revealed that Timothy died due to an extensive blunt force trauma to the head. North Dakota is confirming 29 new cases and one more death in the state from coronavirus. This brings the death toll in the state now to 75. Health officials say the man was in his 60s from Cass County with underlying health conditions. 29 new positive tests are also being reported, bringing the active cases to 309. 9 of the new cases are in Cass County, 6 in Grand Forks County. 2,809 are listed as recovered. A shipment of 30,000 surgical masks donated by Taiwan to support medical workers on the front line has arrived in North Dakota. They've been distributed to Sanford Medical Center in Fargo. Taiwan's response to the coronavirus has been widely reported as one of the best models globally. In spite of its proximity to China, where the COVID-19 originated, Taiwan's incident rate per capita and fatality rate are among the lowest in the world. Minnesota is reporting 387 new cases of COVID-19, 19 more deaths linked to the virus. This brings the death toll in Minnesota to 1,344. Of those deaths, 1,064 happened in a long-term care facility. 387 new cases are reported, bringing the active case count to 2,765. 27,566 people are listed as recovered. The Minnesota Department of Health issued new guidance today for long-term care facilities, looking for safe ways to allow friends and family members to visit residents during the coronavirus pandemic. The new guidance includes recommendations for outdoor and window visits. For outdoor visits, MDH says residents must wear a mask for face covering and also must not be currently positive for COVID-19 or under any sort of quarantine. For window visits, MDH recommends visitors call ahead, schedule, and pre-plan any visit. Window visits should follow social distancing requirements, especially if the window will be open during the visit, with masks recommended for both residents and visitors. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee is examining the global response to the coronavirus pandemic. The committee convened this morning on Capitol Hill, looking at new ways to prevent a coronavirus type of attack from happening in the future. It's also examining the role that the World Health Organization played in the response to the global pandemic.
Its response to fast-moving emergencies such as Ebola and COVID-19 has exposed significant weaknesses that the WHO has.
Garrett Grigsby, who is Director of Global Affairs, says that the only silver lining to the global crisis will be the re-examination of our supply chains. A man from Staples, Minnesota is the latest to be charged in the burning of the 3rd Precinct Police Station in South Minneapolis during the nights of unrest immediately following the death of George Floyd. 26-year-old Bryce Michael Williams is charged with conspiracy to commit arson. So far, authorities have arrested at least 7 others, 6 of which also are from Minnesota. Minnesota State Senate is currently considering 4 bills regarding police reform. One of them would change how use of force is reported and background checks for other police staff. The other bills passed earlier in the week. One bans chokeholds and requires peace officers to speak up and report any excessive use of force. Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz said today that it's important to pass strong police reform and accountability measures during the state's special legislative session.
Wonderful news came in from the Supreme Court on a DACA decision. And I can't help but think that this is the week where human rights are on the march.
Another bill addresses officer preparedness and allocates millions to increase trainings in things like crisis intervention, autism awareness, and mental illness. The Sanford Fargo Marathon will be moving forward with its 2020 event, August 24th to August 29th. The marathon group says it'll be outlining a COVID-19 focus plan that would allow for the 2020 marathon to happen as scheduled. Runners can visit fargomarathon.com to learn more and how to register. Later on Valley News Live at 6, it's not always easy to come up with enough cash for rent each month. We'll offer up some creative ways.
Radar showing a shower now moving over the Otter Tail Lake area and some heading into Bemidji. Over 2 to 5 inches of rain in northwest Minnesota last night. We have details on some rain in the weekend forecast right after this.